have to say it tasted really good. Hey, what's up guys? It's Chris from Daily Tech, and this is a review of the Click and Grow Indoor Smart Garden. I really like the idea of growing my own food, but as lazy and as busy as I am, I'm not sure that planting and cultivating a garden out back is going to be all that realistic for me this year. But growing a small indoor garden with almost zero effort, that sounds pretty doable. So the Click and Grow is a smart garden that takes almost all the effort out of gardening. It's a system that consists of a special light, a water tank, special seeds, and special dirt. It grows food really quickly, and it's small enough to fit on your kitchen counter. Essentially, all you have to do is pick out the type of plant you want to grow, plug it in, and water it about once a month. Now, I've been testing the Click and Grow for about 43 days now, and the company sent me a starter pack of 3 basil plant capsules, and I have to say I'm really impressed. Let's go ahead and start with the Click and Grow's looks, which are overall pretty attractive. The all-white look of the Click and Grow that I received looks really nice. It's a design that can easily fit into a high-end home's kitchen, and it looks really designy and modern and sleek, which is great. Unfortunately, the plastic used to construct the Click and Grow is quite light and has a cheap feel to it. I guess it's a good thing that you wouldn't know that from looking at it, but I definitely am surprised by how low quality the plastic felt. At the end of the day though, the Click and Grow is sturdy enough for what it does, sit there and grow plants. It hasn't broken, and I'm not afraid it will. I just wish it had a bit more of a premium feel to it, but I understand that the materials used help keep the price down to an affordable $60. The size of the Click and Grow is really nice. It's not too big, so it doesn't take up much space on your counter, and it's a little longer than a typical loaf of bread and about as thick. The light used by the Click and Grow to spur plant growth isn't an ordinary light. It's specifically designed to make plants germinate and grow faster. But there's one aspect about that light that's a bit of an annoyance, and that's the fact that it's at its brightest for 16 hours out of every day. That may or may not be an issue for you, but at night it's basically a really bright nightlight, which is definitely strong enough to creep under closed doors. Here's something cool. The total electricity bill for running the Click and Grow for 1 year is just $3. With the Click and Grow, rather than watering the actual plants themselves, you just fill up the water reservoir through a space on the side of the garden. The app then notifies you when it's time to water your plants again, so you don't even have to remember. But I will say that filling up the water tank can be a bit messy. That's because there's a float in the opening that lets you know when you've added enough water. When that float reaches the top and it's level with the surface, then you know it's at max capacity. But the float can also reflect and splash out some of the water that you're adding, so you'll just want to do it slowly. So what can you grow with the Click and Grow? Here's a comprehensive list for you. Chili peppers, mini tomatoes, basil, thyme, lemon balm, stevia, peppermint, wild strawberries, parsley, mimosa, petunias, catnip, lavender, hyssop, moss rose, oregano, painted nettle, and coxcomb. Each plant comes in a plant capsule or refill capsule, same thing, and each Click and Grow can hold 3 plant capsules. And these capsules are really interesting. They contain what Click and Grow calls smart soil, which is NASA inspired and has a few nifty tricks up its sleeve. It releases nutrients when the plant needs them, depending on the stage it's at in its life cycle. It maintains the proper pH balance in the soil, and it uses many pockets of oxygen to help plants breathe better. And in case you're wondering, Click and Grow plants are completely GMO free. Now I can only attest to the basil capsules since they're the only ones I've tried so far, but they grew quickly, smelled awesome, and tasted great. I had no real issues with them at all. The one thing I would say to watch out for though is letting your plants reach the light like I did. Once mine hit the light, it looked like some of the leaves became burned, or kind of brown anyways, even though the light isn't hot per se. One cool thing about the basil plants, which I learned from the app, is that you can keep trimming them so you don't have to replace them every time you harvest. Apparently, as long as you leave at least a couple leaves on the plant, it can regrow. Well, my basil was destined to become a pizza topping, and I have to say it tasted really good. There's just nothing like fresh ingredients when you're cooking, and one of these days I might even end up making some homemade pesto. So let's talk about the app for a second. For being a smart garden, the Click and Grow app is both less smart and more useful than I expected based on the name. I guess in my mind I expected to be able to turn things on and off with the app or activate special powers at the push of a button, but in reality the app is basically a source of information and reminders. The main uses for your app are introducing you to your new Click and Grow via a nicely produced how-to video, telling you more about your plants, and telling you when it's time to water. In the app, you'll be able to track each plant by seeing a visual of its growth cycle, which you can speed up or slow down with your finger to help you envision what it will look like after a given amount of time. Now, the pricing for the Click and Grow is pretty reasonable at about $60, but the pricing for the plant capsule refills feels kind of like a gotcha. In other words, it feels way too expensive. Each plant individually costs about $6.66 to buy, and they're sold in 3 packs for $19.95. That means that if you replaced your plants every 3 months, the plant refills will cost more than the actual Click and Grow itself. Still, you'll have to decide for yourself if the convenience of having fresh ingredients or growing your own flowers indoors with almost no effort is worth the pretty steep cost. So I'm a big fan of the Click and Grow Smart Garden. Not only does the food it produces smell and taste delicious, but it's fun to watch the plants grow, and I enjoy having the plants around. Despite the pricey refills, I find myself wanting to try as many different plants as I can over the next year, and I'd even consider buying another Click and Grow or two. If you love fresh ingredients, smart home technology in general, or are just looking for an awesome indoor herb garden, you can't go wrong with the Click and Grow. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Later.
Shall we begin?